How do you see the economic recovery going forward, given all of the unknowns about lockdowns and vaccinations and actually how many businesses will go under?
Yeah, we're optimistic about this year. We think that progressively the economies will get stronger, US especially, but Europe will also follow the recovery of the US markets. We think the vaccines over time, together with the prevention measures, will lead the economies into a stronger second half. And so we expect a much better 2021 compared with the challenges of 2020.
Mario Greco, do you believe that this recovery, this COVID-19 recovery, post-COVID-19, will be both a global recovery and also will be a green recovery?
I think it will be a global recovery in 2021. And I think then 2022, we need to probably expect to see a slowdown after it. There has been massive amounts of support injected into America, into Europe, into Asia. And all these amounts will boost 2021. Harder to see, though, this sustaining itself in 2022. But definitely we think that 2021 will have a positive benefit from it.
What's your biggest hope for climate change, given we have COP26 today, this year around the corner, and we have also a new U.S. administration?
Yeah, first of all, it's extremely promising and reassuring to see that the U.S. administration has rejoined the Paris Agreement. The appointment of Kerry as the climate czar, again, is incredibly promising. Climate is our biggest threat. We'll get over this pandemic. We will resolve it. Climate is something where we will need to put the same efforts we used to fight the pandemic. And the pandemic has, taught all of us a big lesson about how effective we can be if we work together. We need to do the same on climate now.
Mr. Greco, there was, of course, a High Court decision here in the UK about the relationship between insurance companies and some of the claims related to COVID-19. How does it change the future relationship between businesses and insurance companies with these sorts of pandemics? I mean, we hope we don't have another pandemic around the corner, but does it change your outlook?
First of all, I think we will have some other pandemics. The world, a global world, is open to the risks of viruses spreading quickly around the world. We've been knowing that a pandemic will come, and we know that there will be a next one. Second, there will be other similar catastrophic risks. We're very concerned about cyber risks. And of course, climate also can provoke some very bad consequences on countries or continents. I think we have to work together, public and private. This is what we have been saying from the beginning. Private companies cannot resolve this, neither financially nor socially. We need to have cooperation. Global events cannot just be resolved by insurance companies.
How will you deal with people that don't want to be vaccinated? How will life insurance companies actually deal with policyholders that refuse to have a vaccine?
That's a very difficult question. I'm seeing even in my country, Switzerland, that not everybody wants to have the vaccine. I think it's up to the government to respond to this, or to convince, or to explain. I think it's also understandable that now, being in the first days, that people have anxiety and hesitations. But eventually, history of the world has showed us that the only cure against this pandemic, it is with vaccines. In these cases, even more evident than before that we need to be vaccinated. For insurance companies, I don't think this is really something we can take actions on. We have been trying to help the customers as much as we could, and we will continue being supportive of customers, even if they're scared of getting the vaccines. But it is really something that the governments have to address.
Mr. Greco, give me a sense of what you're expecting exactly in the next 6 months and then 12 months. We talked a little bit at the beginning of the interview about what kind of recovery you're expecting, but what will your priorities be in the coming 6 months?
So from the financial market standpoint, we expect the markets to be stronger in H2 than in H1. I think H1 will still have, especially this initial quarter, the impact of the infections and the vaccines are picking up, but kind of slowly. The second half of the year will be much better, much stronger for the economies, and we expect GDP growth to accelerate. For us, the priority this year is to manage the hardening of the rates, especially in commercial insurance. The hardening is continuing, has been extremely strong last year. The beginning of this year has been equally strong. And that's an opportunity for us also to improve the quality of our books and keep improving our profitability.
Where do you see the interest rate path going? How much? I know we've talked about this in the past, the fact that actually negative rates are a real burden on financial companies, on insurance companies. How do you see that progressing in the next 1 or 2 years? If we stay lower for longer, how can you adapt?
Yeah, there could be movements we expect this year. There could be some movements up of the interest rates and the yields. But the forecast we have is low for long, which means that the business needs to be tightly organized for that. In the life business, almost 80% of what we do is protection business, which does not have any guarantee embedded. And the rest is unit-linked business, which again does not have a guarantee. The guarantee business does not have in life, any real opportunity for the next years. Altogether, I think we expect this to continue for quite a number of years.
And Mr. Greco, do you see a real difference in what region is actually going to recover first or is recovering first? Do you see a discrepancy between, for example, Europe and Asia? And can Europe catch up depending on, vaccine acceleration? Can the U.S. catch up if they get a handle on the pandemic in terms of the economic recovery that follows?
Yeah, I think Europe especially has to speed up on providing the vaccines. The vaccination plan in Europe is, I would say, a quarter behind what it is in Asia and in the US. And that's a competitive risk to be a quarter late. In terms of the financial support, Europe has been incredibly decisive. Never seen it before. Now, I think the opportunity is to use these funds also to support the green economy plan, which is, for us, the most important decision that Europe has taken over the past years. And we will be very keen to support that as insurance company or as Zurich.